Well, hi. Today is Thursday, June 12th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Coming up today, we are going to talk with the head coach from the CB Captains, Brian Locke. The Captains, they started off the season very, very strong, and then things have kind of taken a little bit of a U-turn, and they've struggled as of late. But there's one more game to go that at the conclusion, with a win, the Captains could still finish the season with a winning record. And being the first season for the Captains, you got to look at that and say, that is a positive step and exciting to have a team like this that we can call a local team right here in Council Bluffs. So Coach Brian Locke coming up very, very shortly. GT Motors on Broadway in Council Bluffs has an ever-changing inventory to help get you in a quality used vehicle. Trucks, large and small SUVs, passenger cars, even sports cars, and also motorcycles. GT Motors can help. Check out their inventory at gtmotorscb.com. Stop by their lot at 21st and Broadway, and don't forget, they offer on-site financing as well. GT Motors, 21st and Broadway in Council Bluffs. Since 1870, Avela Bank has been providing Iowans with high-quality financial products and services to fit their needs. Whether you need a loan, would like to start a new business account, need to save money for a trip, or are looking to open a personal checking account, Avela's qualified bankers can help you with all of that and a lot more. Visit avela.bank to learn more. And technology should work for you, not against you. At ThinkSpace IT, they provide expert IT solutions to keep your business running smoothly and securely. From cybersecurity and cloud services to network management and tech support, they simplify IT so you can focus on what matters most. Stay protected, stay connected, stay ahead. Visit ThinkSpaceIT.com. Joining us this morning, it is CB Captains head soccer coach. It is Mr. Brian Locke. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time. I know that after a really strong start to the season, it's been a little bit of a struggle lately. And it's what has been the difference between the first half and what's happened now? What do you see?
Yeah, hey, thank you for having me. Yeah, I mean, like you said, we got off to a really strong start. Went 3 wins, 1 draw in the first 4. Part of it's complacency. You get flying, you get an ego, you get ahead. Oh, we can do anything, and then standards drop, training drops, and just we have young players. A lot of them have not played at this level, so mixture of just that ego that kicks in when you're doing well. Illness, other various reasons why players can't participate or be rostered. That's definitely, illness, travel, family events, whatever it may be. So just all the unknowns.
I know you've dealt with a little bit of injury too. Yeah. I mean, you've dropped some players along the way.
Yeah. 2 big injuries, starting center attacking mid Logan, and then a starting winger Hassan. Both had season-ending injuries pretty early. I mean, they were key points in our lineup and leaders on the team. So it's definitely been a loss to lose them.
What would you say up to this point has been some of the highlights of the season? From a person sitting in the stands, it has to do with W's and L's.
Yeah.
But from a coaching standpoint, I'm assuming you look at things a little bit differently sometimes.
100%. I mean, even in the greatest losses, there's still positives that happen. We'll take last Saturday for an example. We did lose. We lost 9-1. We got 2 red cards. Walking out of the game, chatting with my assistant coach, Josh, it's like, there were players that played great. They put in a 90 or, they put in a full shift. That give them credit for that. We ended up using all of our subs by the end of the game. The guys went in there with heart, with grit, with determination to, they didn't give up. So that is great to see. Having conversations with the players, it sucks. It hurts to lose like this. But you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your players. As the coach, as a player, you learn a lot about yourself on what you're going to do in those situations.
I have said it many times, whether privately or sometimes even on the show, that I can't think of a single thing that I truly learned that pain wasn't involved with it.
100%.
That it was typically something that did not work out, that I failed in some way. And that's where learning happens. And being a brand new club, and this is your first full season, obviously that plays into it, but it also being able to remind not just the players, but also yourself, I'm sure, that, hey, we're building something here.
No, 100%. I mean, and that was a conversation from before the season. Yes, the players each have their individual goals of, hey, we want to go to the championship, we want to win. It's like, let's be realistic. I mean, we're a first year team. This is 10 games and 9 to 10 weeks. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes up that we're not ready for or we can't anticipate. So let's be realistic. Here's what we're actually building for. Setting those goals of, you can't control if you win the game or not. At the end of the day, that's not controllable. It's all right. Did I play to my fullest abilities? So just setting those realistic goals.
Talk about some of the different players that have stepped up. I know some of them. I know some of them that you're going to say, but just share a little bit about some of the guys that have been really getting it done for you this year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think our main one is the captain, Bada. Just a constant staple of what it looks like, to be a professional, shows up day in and day out, gives us 100%, lifts up the other guys. I see him, I pay attention to little things, who's coming to practice and saying hi to everybody, right? That's huge. He is one of the guys that, consistently shakes everyone's hand, says hi, how are you doing? Not the, going through the motions, how are you doing, but genuinely, how was your day? You got something going on you want to chat through. So 100% he is a huge staple within the team.
I know that the times that I've interviewed him, that was the sense that I got from him, because he even showed me that attention. Just, some guy with a microphone. It wasn't, you said it can't be fake. It wasn't lip service. This is who this man is.
100%. Yep.
So as you are now heading into your final game, you got a little bit of time before you go on the road and head up to Sioux Falls. What are some of the things you're working on? Because you're looking at position in the standings at the end. That's kind of what you're playing for at this point, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now, right? It's our first season. We have the opportunity to end the season with a winning record. I mean, that's still an accomplishment in itself. I mean, even if you're a 10th year team, ending the season with a winning record is an accomplishment. So just keeping the guys focused. This season isn't over. What appears so far that we have lost some players. We're not in the championship running anymore. So our players decide not to show up anymore.
Is that just something that a lot of teams in the semi-pro league deal with?
I don't know. I would say yes, in a roundabout way. I mean, you always have those players that want to go pro, that want to be there, that want to compete at a high level. But at the end of the day, they were there for themselves and not the team. So there's a couple that, we lose communication with, or they're not showing up to, the last practice. And wasn't surprising. Like, yep, sucks to lose that person as a skilled player, but were they ever really here for the team?
Well, and plus it's winning championships is great, or being in the mix to compete at least for championships is great. At this level of the league or of the sport, it's also about what can I do to transfer on to the next level. And I know you and I had talked, and we talked with Taylor about it too, that's a big thing with you, that your goal is to actually see your players move on and move into the professional side of things. So I would think that would mean, all right, you still have another opportunity here.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, and you're right. Even if this season is over, even if this was our last game, fall starts, I think we're looking at a date of August 16th. June, July, August. I mean, that's 2 months. We're in preseason right now. So
just that quick, then is there going to be any time off then between the final game on the 22nd and when you start practice for the fall season?
We'll probably take a week, let the guys decompress, let them, get rid of their burnout and whatnot. So go catch up on family time.
Is there any difference into how the seasons are played? I mean, from spring/summer season to the fall season, is there a different approach to it,
Approach as far as the scheduling,
or approach as far as how you are preparing and how the league is put together and things like that?
no, not really. I mean, my attention to detail is, I try to put as much detail into it as possible. I mean, I try to if I'm going to hold my players to a high standard, I got to hold myself, to a higher standard, be the example for them of, that dedication, showing up to practice 30 minutes before we're actually supposed to be there. If they want to chat, let's chat. Let's take an hour. Let's, do whatever it takes, to show that attention to detail.
At the games that I've been to, I have seen that, to be honest, I was fairly impressed with the turnout, with the fans that come. Obviously, a lot of them family of players, but still, they're coming out. They're supporting the team. They're wearing merchandise. They're wearing the T-shirts. They are actually into the game.
Yes.
And you can hear as things are progressing throughout. You can actually feel the energy from the crowd. I mean, this is you've got a good start to a fan base.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, again, first year it's building. You got to set the foundation before you start growing taller, bigger. And you hit it right on the head with that. I mean, where we are, the staff and the players, the fans are on our back. I can feel that. I mean, I can, you can definitely hear them yelling, cheering, supporting the players. I love they're getting to the point where they're getting the chance, even if it's just yelling CB captains over and over. You can feel it. There's an energy they bring and an aura that you definitely feel.
How about how you feel you have fit in with not just the division, but also with the league? I mean, are you happy with the competitive nature and feel that, the captains are among this group and we belong here? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we showed that in the first 4 games. I mean, 3 wins, 1 draw. Our first game was away in Worthington, Minnesota. I mean, 3.5 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Worthington, I want to say, has been around for 3 years. We went to their house on our first game ever and tied them. So, I mean, I was happy with that. It's like, yep. I mean, you could see the nerves in the players. I had nerves, I just had to drive a bus full of kids, adults that, 3.5 hours, right? It's a drive. We're tired from that. I had nerves. You could see the nerves in the players. And it's like, hey, just go out and play soccer, have fun, do your thing, and walked away with the tie. So I was definitely happy with that.
A lot of the players, obviously younger.
Yes.
And so previous experience could be, one either at just a high school level, but also maybe a small college or something like that. And the speed of the game, everything is different coming into the semi-pro side of it. How do you feel your players and the team have made that adjustment through the season?
No, very well. You brought up, the younger players. We do have one player, Ethan, EJ. He's playing center defensive mid. 20 years old. I want to say he trained 1 year at a college. I don't think he saw the game field when he was there. That's minimal experience, to jump into the semi-pro level off, 1 year of practicing at the college level. He's started every single game at center defensive mid. So his grit, determination, and tenacity is what's kept him on. So
what do you think as the coach needs to happen that is going to put the captains in a position moving forward that, we are in the mix and we will make the postseason and we will be competing for that title? What are some of the things that has to happen for that to get there?
The biggest thing, and we called it out at practice 2-3 weeks ago, it's, the general term is accountability. The diving it into it deeper is honesty. I asked 30 players last week who's feeling a little burnout. 3 people raised their hand. It's like, do you guys even know what burnout is? Right. And then it's like, all right, now we're getting into conversations of, again, you start off the season really strong. How do you retain that momentum? were we playing that well, or were the other teams just not at full fitness, full peak yet? So continuing that. And again, I mean, accountability, honesty in the questions, who's not feeling well today? Who's sick? I had a player who was dealing with some stomach issues, played Saturday, and you could see that he was still drained from that. So it's, hey, be honest. I know you want to play, but that honesty is what makes us a team.
I don't know if there is a sport that exists that conditioning is more important
100%.
than the one you're playing, because you're constantly moving.
Yeah.
And it is a series of, walking and then sprinting. There's really not a lot of in between. Back when I was running track, these were the things that we used to do to really tire ourselves out. And you're doing that for an entire game.
Yeah.
And so obviously when you start the season, teams can be in various form of conditioning, but probably at this point, I'm assuming everybody's going to be pretty well equal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, everybody should be hitting their full peak in fitness or in ability and skills. Maybe we just did too well in our, preseason training that we hit that peak too early and then we fizzled out in the last half. So, which is possible.
Yeah. It's hard to really pinpoint situations like that. And
so many
sometimes, and especially being the first year.
Exactly.
Because you, as a coach, you have an entire team that you didn't know before you got started.
Yep.
So there's not a lot of history there that you can rely on and lean back on and say, okay, we know how this is going to happen at this point of the season because we've been through it before.
Yep.
So you're just kind of feeling your way through the entire way.
100%. Yeah. It's always a learning process. At the end of the day, there's no failure in sport. It's just learning. It's just growing. It's just building. You just keep going.
All right. So you're on the road, headed up to take on the Thunder, a team that you beat at home earlier this year. That was in the first half of the season in one of those games that looked good doing it.
Yeah.
I remember the game. First half seemed a little bit flat, and it showed.
Yeah.
The one goal that they had came on a penalty kick.
Yes.
But then in the second half, two things happened. It looked like one, the captains found their stride, and also you were successful in taking the Thunder out of their game. Yeah. They did not look like they were as prepared in the second half as they did in the first half. So now they've experienced that. Yeah. They have, I'm sure, film to look at and say, okay, so what are some of the things that you're preparing for going into that last game?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one is consistency. Dropping the last 4 games, the biggest thing that I've seen in our film is consistency, whether we're, not transitioning up and down or, side to side as fast as we should be. Are we going in aggressive at the right times? Garwo, probably the best example of going in too aggressive at the wrong time. Players played that game in the first half like they had to win every single ball at every single moment. So just finding that consistency again.
Yeah, I'm remembering a time back when I still played basketball at a lower level, and we were getting blown out, and somebody on the other team had a breakaway, and we just all stopped. And we didn't challenge it. We just let him go in for the layup and didn't even chase after him. Yeah. He was gone, but still. And the coach called timeout. We all got chewed out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every single one of us.
Yeah.
And I can tell by the look in your eye. Yeah, you deserve that.
Yes.
But so I can relate to what it is that you're saying as far as consistency goes, because it's not about the results. It's about the effort that you put in.
100%. Yep.
Well, Coach, grateful for all of the time that you have made for me and for the community and, for the team. It looks like you're doing a little better than the last time I saw you because you took a ball to the face and were a little bit concussed, I think. But
Yeah, that was a rough 2 weeks, right? And maybe that played a part into it too. Being
Yeah.
concussed definitely affects coaching and attention to detail. So
Yeah,
no,
that's
I'm
not supposed to
feeling
happen.
much better though. Thank you.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen when you're an athlete. That's not supposed to happen when you're coaching.
Yeah, I got to stop jumping into practice.
CB Captains Coach Brian Locke, good luck on the final game coming up on the 22nd. And we look forward to continuing to follow you and getting back into things this fall.
Yep. Wholly appreciate the support all throughout the season.
Don't forget to follow the CB Captains on social media, and you'll find links during game time. These games are all on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it live right there. Navigating the healthcare system can be challenging, frustrating, and time-consuming for you and your family. That's where My Nurse Healthcare in Council Bluffs steps in. Nurse advocates provide one-on-one guidance and support every step of the way. With a dedicated nurse by your side, you'll get the right care from the right provider at the right time. Visit mynursehealthcare.com. Call 250-8465. That's a 402 area code, 402-250-8465. And let them take the stress out of healthcare. And Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke. You may also be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. Service Master Restore by Schmader will restore your space by offering quality commercial and residential restoration services in Council Bluffs and in the surrounding area. That's Service Master Restore by Schmader. Again, thank you to Coach Brian Locke for being our guest on today's show. And we have one more day to go before the end of the week. Don't the days just seem to fly right by? And then don't forget, a week from tonight, Bike Night is back on the 100 block in Council Bluffs. We'll tell you more about that next week. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great Thursday.